Hello everybody, welcome to Jasper National Park. We are finally here, and today we are going to be doing some hiking and answering your questions.
We had a 2-hour drive in to get to this incredible spot, but that's not why we're filming today. We're filming to answer your pressing questions for our 1-year anniversary on YouTube.
We thought instead of just sitting down and talking to the camera, it would be best if we took you along with us on what are supposed to be some fairly easy hikes here in Jasper.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. So what we're gonna do is tighten up our hiking boots and get on the trail. The first question is from Mobangs Foyo Bucks. By the way, absolutely love the username. The question is, what are the pros and cons of living in your minivan so far? The obvious pro is that our home is on wheels and we can take it wherever we want, including Jasper National Park. We are at the edge of the world and the views are insane. It's only 500 meters off the road too.
We don't need to find accommodations. We can park at the side of the road for the night. It honestly makes life so much easier.
An obvious con is that there is not a whole lot of space. A minivan for 2 people, it's difficult living and it's really easy to get stuff cluttered, especially trying to put everything that your home would have inside of your home on wheels.
The next question is from Sam Hyham 97. You've driven nearly 3,000 kilometers in 3 days. Yes, well technically we drove it in 4 days, 3 nights, but we've come a lot further since then.
The next question is from J Mondloch 21. How do you decide where you want to go? There's a couple main sources for us. We often get ideas of where to go from YouTube, and from there we do more research to decide if it's a place we actually want to go.
There's always a bucket list of places that we've both collected over time, which kind of add to the inspiration of where we want to go. Right now, for example, in Jasper, we're using All Trails to locate some of the hikes that we want to take. So there's all kinds of different resources online that can help guide you to where you want to go next. The next question is from Anthony Silvestro. How many times have you said #bushwhacking? Well, Anthony, I haven't said it at all, but Richard, he has said it a lot. Thanks for the question, Tony.
The next question hits really close to home, and it is, where is your cat? We are very lucky to have 2 sets of parents that both adore Sophie and are totally willing to take care of her. At the moment, Sophie is living in the lap of luxury with my parents, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna gain a few pounds from all the treats that she's gonna get.
The next question comes from Anonymous Wong. The question is, how long will it take you to reach India in your van? I don't think we can do that by land. However, if we were able to ferry, get all the visas, we might make it by 2022. Oh, that's cold. Oh.
Our next question comes from An Urban Journey, and they ask, do you plan to resume your international travels once the coronavirus settles down? If so, where do you plan on going? The short answer is yes, we definitely plan to continue our international travels. The long answer is that we don't think we're going to be able to travel indefinitely again.
We think that there's probably going to be a lot of restrictions on coming in and out of countries, although it's hard to know. The world environment is changing day by day, and honestly, we just can't take any little trip for granted at this point.
As for where we want to go first, I think I speak for both Kirsten and myself when we say that number 1 on our list is India. We expected to get 6 weeks of unabashed travel from the north to the south of India, and we got about 6 days, which was highly disappointing.
This is probably my favorite spot so far. I was really excited to see a glacier, and this did not disappoint. It's amazing. The next question comes from Yashi Tawari, and she asks, how did you get your idea of starting your channel while traveling, and what do you like most about India?
The idea of starting our channel actually came well after finding out that we both love to travel and to travel together. We went to Asia on a 1-month backpacking trip in
2018, sorry.
We were instantly in love with traveling. At that point, Kirsten had bought her first DSLR. I was not interested in photography until we got home and started dabbling with photography together. We were already starting to plan what became Project 2020. That summer we went to Croatia and Bosnia and really dabbled with photography. If you check out our Instagram page, there are like 30 or 40 pictures. We were getting up at like 5 or 6 in the morning, try and get the best possible lighting. Turns out we absolutely loved it, and as soon as we got home, we pressed record on our camera for the very first time. We decided to start our channel in August of 2019, and from that point, things have just kind of blossomed, and we still love doing it.
It came down to how were we best gonna remember our 1 year of travel. As much as pictures were nice, they only captured one moment in time, and having a video memory of that really became important to us.
It also helps too, because when you travel so much, all of the memories start to blend together and you really just kind of lose sight of what is actually happening. All right, what did you like most about India, Kirsten?
Number one thing is the food. We ate majority vegetarian while we were in India. It was so impressive how each dish was so unique, and we kept getting recommendations left, right, and center, and I'm so sad we had to leave early because there's so many dishes that we didn't get to try.
I don't want to cheap out on the answer because for me, the food is also number one, but I'm gonna go with the people. The people were so welcoming. Even the people that were clearly trying to scam us ended up being very nice when I just said a few words of Hindi. So to the people of India, thank you so much for welcoming us to your beautiful country. We will be back as soon as possible. Ravi Kumar asks, hey R&K, you guys are such an adorable couple. Do share the backstory of how you two met. Are you two high school sweethearts or college sweethearts? And how did you decide to travel together as a passion?
We've been together for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years in September. We went to university together, graduated, and then moved in together in the city that we went to university in. That's kind of where life took us.
Kirsten had always been really interested in travel, and I wasn't so much. There came a point where she convinced me to go on a trip with her to Paris and to Greece on the same trip. We both had a great time. Like, we absolutely loved it. And from there, we had this crazy idea of going on a 1-month backpacking trip across Asia. We honestly thought it would be the last chance we would ever get to do something like that.
We were just starting our careers. We thought that we'd go on this one big trip before we committed fully into working for the rest of our lives. It ended up sparking a bug in us that was far greater than 1 month could ever fulfill.
So that's how our plan for Project 2020 came about. Really, it was just a travel passion, and at that point, YouTube really wasn't in the equation. To be honest, before Project 2020, we quit our full-time career jobs and decided to go in a different route.
The next question's from Caroline's Adventures. She says, I know it won't happen, but if travel restrictions to all countries were lifted at the same time, what would be your top 5 countries you'd want to visit and why? Which I think is an awesome question. We decided to actually write down our answers separately because we have different ideas on this and we didn't want to influence each other's ideas. For me, one of the places I want to go is Iran. I really think that the media has written it in a way that's unfavorable. Everything I've seen on the internet has said that the generosity of the people makes you feel so welcomed.
For me, it's Turkey. We got our first taste of Mediterranean and Turkish culture actually in Bosnia. I wanted to see what the rest of the Balkans had to offer, but considering a lot of the culture and history comes from Turkey, from the Ottoman Empire.
The next place I want to go is Morocco. I really want to set foot on the African continent, and I just think Morocco would give a really cool vibe. I know it's more European meets Middle Eastern, and I've heard the food is absolutely amazing.
The next one for me is Taiwan. I think Taiwan kind of speaks for itself. The food culture there is out of this world, and I haven't been disappointed in any Asian country that I've been to yet in terms of food. Taiwan also boasts mountains. If you know us, you know we do like hiking. Maybe we're not like expert mountaineers, but it's a challenge I would certainly not mind taking on, at least some sort of alpine hiking in Taiwan.
For me, my third one is also Taiwan. They have everything from towering cliffs that you would see in Scotland to beaches, and the food just looks incredible. We've been to the Taipei airport 3 times, and it's such a tease every time we have to leave and don't get the chance to go in and explore because it just looks like it would be such a great time.
The next country on my list is Malaysia. It's one of the few Southeast Asian countries we haven't been to yet. It's also a country we had planned on visiting right after India, and for good reason.
The next one for me is Israel. And I know that one's probably not very common, and I just think that length of history to witness that in person would be really amazing to see. Once again, the food culture there is supposed to be unreal, and it's supposed to be a really young and hip city.
The fourth country for me is Sri Lanka, and it has a lot in common with India in terms of food, culture, history. I'm sure some of our Indian fans will beg to differ. I absolutely love Indian food. I'm sure I would absolutely love Sri Lankan food. It just looks like an amazing country to visit.
The last one for me is Jordan, and specifically Petra. I am so fascinated by how that was built up over time, and to see the culture there as well too. I know that's a word I keep coming back to. Places like that go back thousands of years, and they're the roots of civilization, and I find that just so fascinating.
And my last one, I hope you don't think this is a cop-out. It's actually a Canadian province, the Yukon. And the Yukon was the main motivation, for me at least, going on this trip. I've always been fascinated with the Arctic. I've always been fascinated with Arctic culture and lifestyle. And in the Yukon, there's an 800-kilometer shale and gravel highway called the Dempster Highway. Oh man, I wanted to drive it so bad because it goes like 200 kilometers from the Arctic Ocean. I'm so disappointed because the Yukon is still not letting people from Ontario into the territory, even though we are still Canadians. There's also some amazing hiking, and the tallest mountains in the entire country are in the Yukon. It's too bad. Back to the town of Hinton, Alberta, and we're staying at our new home for the night, Fresson Bros grocery store. We had an incredible day of hiking in Jasper. We tried 2 fairly easy hikes today and had some breathtaking views of the scenery. Tomorrow we are trying our very first summit hike in Jasper, and I am extremely excited about that.
I'm a little nervous because it's our first scramble, but honestly, I think it's gonna be so worth the views.
We're still working on the edit from the first couple of videos on our cross-country road trip adventure. Unfortunately, we don't really know when the next video will come out because on the road we have issues with Wi-Fi, we have some difficulty editing on our laptops, and we also want to make sure we focus on living in the moment and enjoying this trip as much as possible. We do promise you though, there are tons of adventures coming. We've already filmed I think 4 videos if you include this one, and we've only been on the road for like 7 or 8 days. So after 60 plus days, I'm sure you can imagine just how many van life videos across our beautiful country that we are going to have for you.
This really is the trip of a lifetime for us, having the opportunity to be out here. It is a heck of a drive to get out here, so we just want to make the most of it.
Before we shut down for the night, we have one more question, and that question is from one_33. Thank you for the question. Now that you've had a chance to try out the van, what things would you change/tweak, and what would you recommend that is working really well?
As for what we would tweak, definitely our kitchen setup. Right now, we are very weather dependent on how we cook. So if there's a lot of wind, we're in trouble. If there's rain, we're in even more trouble. If we could change it, what we would do is put drawers in the back that would kind of be like pull-out counters that would come from the rear of the vehicle. And that would just allow us to work under the tailgate, but also not to have to take everything out every time we want to cook.
As for what's working well,
the bed.
Honestly, the bed is so comfortable. The bed that we've designed in here is essentially a double bed. It's got the same length. It's only 48 inches, whereas a double is 54, but it doesn't feel any smaller than a double, and the 4-inch thick foam is so comfortable. We also have our queen duvet from home with a whole bunch of pillows. It makes all of the pain points that we have in this build totally worth it when you wake up feeling as refreshed as you possibly can.
For $100 that we spent on it, I am blown away that it could be this good.
Thank you all so much for your questions and for your support. Kirsten and I are really feeling the love from the Van Life series.
For sticking with us, we want to say a huge thank you. Whether you've been here for 1 year, 1 month, 1 day, what we're going to be doing to celebrate you guys is sending postcards to 3 lucky recipients. So what we're asking of you is to like the video, leave us a comment and make sure that you subscribe, and we will pick 3 of you by random draw to receive a postcard from our trip.
In our first van life video, look out for a pinned comment at the top where we're going to announce the 3 lucky winners that we're going to be sending the postcards to with a handwritten note. All you'll have to do at that point is email us with your address and we will make sure to send it your way.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the love over the last year. We can't wait to see where this channel takes us.
Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will see you in our very first Adventure Across Canada video. Bye!